Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. 1 second here. One second here. What happened here? Okay, 1 second here. What happened? Okay. 1 second, brothers and sisters, have a little technical difficulty here. What happened here? Okay. Yes. There. Okay, here we go. Okay, brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum. Suman Rahim here. Messenger of the Covenant, breaker of the 7 seals. Brothers and sisters, let's have a little talk today. I'm still having a lot of technical difficulties, but I'm working through them. Hopefully I'll be up and running successfully in a couple of more days. Anyway, brothers and sisters, I want to talk about the promise. The promise. See, we were made a promise. But it's a contract, a covenant. But it required us to go to the hard costs. That was our part. Submit to the devils. That was our part of the agreement. And as a result of that, we would get this great, enormous reward. Now, we need to understand what's going on here, and I'm going to try to explain as simply as possible. Because there's a plan to deprive you of your reward. Because you was faithful to your part. You was faithful to your part 100%. We went through the hard costs. We was faithful. We submitted. And God showed up as he promised he would, right on time. The judgment started right on time. Suleiman the high priest appeared right on time. So far the other side of the agreement is being upheld. But they're trying to get you to default, or not to default. Well, maybe that might be a correct word. They're trying to get you to abrogate the agreement, to spoil it, destroy it. Because the last part of the agreement just be faithful, remain on target, remain on point. See? Because after this, after you fulfill it, then there'll be a period of time, right, where you'll be taken out of here. But our captors had a period of time for them to let us go or suffer the consequences. And we had to be patient during that period of time. And we had nearly 500 years of patience. And then we have just a short period of time of patience. The value of decisions, a short period of time of patience. And they're going out of their way to undermine you, trip you up, to keep you from getting what you deserve. And that part is on you, brothers and sisters. That part is on you. Because no one will make you go into the hereafter. No one will make you go into the promised land. But if we go back to a more, I don't want to get too involved here, too deep here. But the promised land hereafter is not for everyone. It's not for everyone. First of all, to qualify, you had to go to the Holocaust. I mean, not everybody that's going hereafter has to go to the Holocaust, but to be the premier, I don't want to say tribe because we're only going to be one tribe, but be at the top. That's the elect to inherit the best part of planet Earth. Because we went to the Holocaust. Everybody that goes in the promised land I shouldn't say the promised land. Everybody that goes in the hereafter, we're going to inherit the promised land. But everybody that goes in the hereafter, right, didn't have to go to the Holocaust. The Shia didn't have to go to the Holocaust, right? Many of the Levites didn't have to go to the Holocaust either. But we did. So we come out on top because we suffered the most. But it's not as simple as they would make you think, because they would make you think, oh, let's back up all together. See, Brown said this is a very difficult subject to talk about because you've heard so much stuff. And it's all confusing, and it's hard to talk to you directly about it because your mind's so confused with all these different ideas, these philosophies and stuff that they've been bombarding you with for the last 35,000 years. Okay? You got all these religions out there. They all claim they're the right ones, where if there's 4 major religions, say it's 4 major religions, right? One of them got to be, at least 3 of them got to be wrong. At least 3 of them got to be wrong, because they're all saying different things. So these 3 of them got to be wrong. That tells you right there something's a problem. So how you know you're in the right one? And the one we're in has been forced on us by evil enemy. And why in the world would you accept their religion? Because their religion for 500 years was to torment and terrorize you. So now you accept that religion, so now you torment and terrorizing yourself and don't even know it. Because that's their religion was based on. Torment and terrorizing you. So I'm going to try to come at a couple of angles, brothers and sisters. But I'm going to try to keep it as simplistic as possible. We're told, see, again, it's hard for me to talk to you. If I say we're told, that's assuming that you got the Christian idea. Say you got the Hindu idea. Say you got the Buddhist idea. Most of you got the Christian idea. But then you got all these, you got the Baptists, the Methodists, Lutheran. So it's hard to talk to you because that's why you need mathematics, because mathematics is universal. But you got a religion, they all have different ideas. Some talk about the rapture, some they ain't gonna rapture. Some say false Israel is the one, else say self ain't that the one. And you got to cut through all that to get to you. So I was going to take this, I'm going to take a different direction altogether. I'm just going to cut to the chase from this, brothers and sisters. The bottom line is that you have to meet a certain criteria to get into the hereafter. That's what it's all about. And the bottom line, the mathematics of it, I'm going to just talk the mathematics of it, because if I try to go into other stuff, it just doesn't work. Like someone says, well, I'm going to go and tell them what the Quran says, and they're Christian. Well, they don't say, well, all they got to tell you, I don't know about no believing in the Quran. Then the case is closed. But how are you going to tell them what the Quran says? They don't even believe in the Quran. If they believe the Quran, you can have an argument and say, well, this, you say you believe the Quran said this or that. But if they don't even believe in it, then it's mute point. And that's the problem we have here, and it's very difficult to talk to our brothers and sisters. And that's why I don't waste time trying to convince. I'm not going to convince anybody. I'm not trying to convince anybody, because my purpose is to raise up Lazarus. See? And that's who I'm addressing these comments to, actually, because everything I say is energizing Lazarus to wake him up. But see, the problem is, brothers and sisters, is that I have to make sure, as it says in Ezekiel, that everybody hears this. Because we don't want anybody to show up, say, well, See, I'm as a witness, or if you had told me, no, the information's out there. Elijah Muhammad put the information out there. But on a mathematical scale, we're going to go some basic mathematics here. Force is the most fundamental principle of the universe, period. Every action has opposite equal reaction. Now, right there, I just lost about half everybody that's probably going to listen to this, because most black folks have no idea what I'm talking about. Most black folks have no idea what I'm talking about when I talk about force like that. That's the problem. And that's the nature of reality. And you deal with it every day. But you don't know what you're dealing with. You're dealing with force every day. Every time you take a breath, you're dealing with force. Every time you have a thought, you're dealing with force. But you don't even understand the basic concept of it. See? I always have reservations about having a conversation like this, brothers and sisters, because I don't know where to go. Where to start. I just split those atoms, atomic bombs, and let you go with it. What do you start with? And I'm not here to convince anybody. I'm just trying to lay the groundwork here of what's going on. Because my people are lost for lack of knowledge. And I want to make sure it's not for lack of me giving you the knowledge. So let me try to put in a context that maybe goes beyond religion and all other stuff, right? When you want to test gold, you have to put it in the furnace. And we've been in the furnace for 40 years. I'm going to use your experience, and maybe you can connect with that. Why you been, because people ask questions, why we go through this? Why we had to be the ones to go through this? And the devils give you an explanation. Well, you was ham. See, they go in the script, they go in the Bible, sealed Bible, and they pull out stuff out there behind and say, okay, you was ham, you're supposed to be slaves, which is a lie. But just on the fundamental basis here, right? You put gold in the furnace. And so we're the gold. And that's why we had to go through this period, because we'd be put in the furnace to be tried. See? So let me try to put it in a big, greater context. Okay, we spend, and I know you think some mystery God built everything you see out there. No, it's not true. We built all of that. See? We built all that. Took 76 trillion years to do it. Creation is complete. And I have two GIFs out there to try to talk about it, because the universe been groaning. And some proper translation would say entropy, because it was growing to decay. What does that mean? To death, because everything was being pulled apart. So, but as a result, because when you create something, right, you have to take something, change from one form to another. You don't create something out of zero. You change energy from one form to another. That's what we did. So we end up destroying what was there to bring what exists now. We had destroyed old creation to bring in this creation. And so we finished it. We put the sun, stars, the moon, all that stuff. We finished it. See? With the creation we started with like mud, like clay in the beginning. That was the creation in the beginning. And we took it apart to bring in the creation. And we finished it. We finally finished it. Everything's out there. The animals, everything came from us. We put it all out there. Now we're done all. That's the universe was groaning to decay, because we was taking and destroying that old, a lot of people was against that old creation to bring in this creation. So now we have it finished. See? I'm not going into all the details, because we'll be here for a while. But it's finished. So now it's time to enjoy and we didn't do it for nothing, to enjoy the creation that we created. So the universe opens and closes, The Bible and the Quran both tell you that. The Bible doesn't say it specifically, but it's both in there. And even the devils bear witness to that, because they call it the Big Bang. They call it the Big Bang. Let me check something here, brother and sister, make sure this sync here. They call it the Big Bang. Big Bang, right? Said it was universe was smaller than an atom, and it blew up to where it is right now. They call it the Big Bang. So even this, there are people bear witness to that. And then, but see, their point is they don't know if it's going to contract again. They think it might keep expanding forever until it becomes zero or whatever. But it contracts. So in the expansion phase, that's just creation. This is the result. What you see as a result in the expansion phase. So now it's contracting. So now we're going to enjoy the creation that we took 76 trillion years of building, and we're going to have 76 trillion years to enjoy it. Increase in joy. Because otherwise, like I said, that's why the Bible says it was groaning to death, because it got worse and worse, because eventually we died at the end of it. That's what it says, groaning to death, right? Because how did we die at the end of it? Because all the energy that was here when it was all one, like the Quran says, is out there now. So at some point, when at the maximum expansion, we have very little energy. And you have to have energy to live. And we have energy to maintain civilization, anything. That's why Adam comes in. Because he didn't need as much energy as we did, so he could rule. But he was treacherous. And he betrayed us. And he turned on us. That's what this whole thing is about, right? This Holocaust. It's like your children. You take care of them, you raise them and everything else, and then they turn on you. Afterward, you give them life and everything else. And that's the whole controversy. That's why I call them the children of Israel. They turned on us. They killed us, slayed us. You know, even in their Viking, that was a scripture. I shouldn't take this diversion. Even in there, they tell you that there was these two titans they slayed. They made their whole this reality out of it. And that they would go to war at the end. That was scripture, that's not mythology. Anyway, that's what they did. See, that's what I'm talking about. The Christ was slain. See? But now universe contracting, see, they didn't finish the job. So now we resurrecting, being resurrected from the dead. See? So now into a new creation. Because now we're going to take this creation, we finished, right? And now we're going to enjoy it. And until we get back to the beginning again. See? Increase in joy. That's everlasting joy, everlasting joy, everlasting joy. Just increase it. If you can imagine, like getting high today, and then tomorrow you're higher than you was today, and the day after that you're higher, and every day you get higher every day, right? I mean, it's really on a 50-year basis, but can you imagine that? You already feel good, and now you feel better, and you get better and better and better, right? And that's what's at stake here, brothers and sisters. And that's why enemies is trying to rob you of it. Now, those who study the Bible, that should clear that up for you, right? Those who don't study the Bible, well, most of you don't study the Bible anyway. But that's what's happening in very simple, basic terms. So now you've done the work. 76 trillion years of doing this. This all came from you, brothers and sisters. They've been telling you for 35,000 years that, some mystery God did it. You got Farrakhan telling you right now, I mean, he's so pathetic. He tells you you don't even have any control over producing your own child. He says some mystery gods in the womb, too bad to have a microscope, some mystery gods in the womb giving you eyes and ears and everything else. Your mother and father had no control of it. That's what he's telling you. You'll take my word for it. Go to his site and see what it said last Sunday. They say every Sunday. And most of you believe in that stuff. There's no proof whatsoever. Because the reason he's doing it was trying to hide the fact that his father's the devil. Because it don't matter. Because see, that's a mathematical fact that if your father you are what your father is. You start out as a sperm, not as an egg. You fertilize the egg. I'm not going into detail about that, but so his father's the devil. It means he's the devil. So he's trying to get around that by saying, no, it doesn't matter what your father is, your mother is. Because God is making you in the womb, so why they got to get together then? So that's his BS. But he's a demon. He's not going to be around much longer. But he's part of what there is, right? to try to steal your blessing from you. You went through sorrow. I mean, unimaginable sorrow and pain and suffering. That's this thing, this picture you see, this display going. It's out there on my page. You go watch it, right? That's what it's talking about. It's in my scripture. All the suffering you went through, unimaginable. During this period of death, for 5,500 years. This process started 50,000 years ago. But the last 500 years has been, you're slain. They took everything from you. This had no other nations. We were slain and buried. They took everything from us. We had nothing. And now you got a stupid commercial about Jamaica. Well, we don't know where you come from. No, you didn't come from Jamaica. You didn't come from Haiti either. That's their bullshit. Tell me, oh man, see, we know we can't. No, you don't. And you don't speak Jamaican. Your name ain't Roy. See, it's an all-out campaign to rob you of that blessing, the promised land. They went and took out Martin Luther King for the same reason. They told him not to get that speech. No preachers get that speech anymore. They don't get that speech since 1948. They don't do it. Since Elijah Muhammad came on scene, they don't get that speech anymore. They don't talk about it. They've been told not to talk about it. He was told not to talk about it. We had a picture. He went to see Elijah Muhammad. Elijah Muhammad pulled his coat on it, right? Gave him the 411 on it. See? And he went out and did the 911, right? And they put him out, blew his brains out. They told him don't do it. Next day he was dead. So you got a problem. Why is that? Is that a coincidence? They're trying to steal your reward from you, brothers and sisters. Now, this is part of the process. Because if you allow that, that means you was too weak to get to the hereafter anyway. You was too weak anyway. See, I don't want to get to the real deep mathematics of it. But that's part of the reason we didn't have to be in this furnace. We didn't have to make them. We didn't have to make Adam. We control the nature of our energy. We can't control the energy, we control the nature of it. See? I mean, you get money, but how do you disperse it? What you going to do with it? See? We control. So we said, this way we want to do it. We're going to give it this form. We'll make this devil, we're going to add him, let him. So we thought a bad civilization would be better than no civilization. So we gave form to it. We have to do it this way. And part of the reason why we allow this happen to go in the furnace of affliction here, it says we'll be tried in the furnace of affliction to burn off these people that ain't getting this message I'm trying to tell them. But they have to be told anyway. They have to be told. Because it's justice. Because they went to the Holocaust. That's the only reason why they got Suleiman spending 30 years talking to you in the graveyard, aside from the fact he has to raise Lazarus. Because that's part of your reward, that you be warned. You be alerted. That's why Master Muhammad showed up and Elijah showed up. So you'd have a path out of here. See, in other words, you have to be like a personal trainer. They give you the training you need, but you have to do something. And Suleiman is the guy. He's the one that's guiding you out of here. But how does he guide you? He said, "Okay, give you a map." No, he tells you what you need, and what you need is you have to get your mind. You have to overcome this gravitational vortex to get out to the hereafter, because it's all about pressure. I don't know how to get this point over to you. It ain't like just walking out here and go to hereafter. It ain't like that. It ain't like you just, okay, I'm gonna get up and walk over here and I got a plane ticket. It ain't like that. See? That's why we had to go to the Holocaust, because we had to be the pure gold. And what does that mean? Maybe I shouldn't use the term gold, because we had to be put under so much pressure, just like a diamond, to be transformed into a diamond, because it takes a diamond to get hereafter. But let me say another way, because that doesn't really get to the point. Your mind has to be on a certain level. If you had a 2,000-year-old mind, you would not be able to survive in society. You would not be able to survive in society if you got a 2,000-year-old mind. Because the reason why they're not here, because first of all, their minds could not handle the pressure of this of the world that's kept moving along, moving into the future. I'm trying to cover too many concepts here, but let me try to keep this simple. I'm working on it. Okay, say for instance you put water and milk in a glass, right? Eventually, if you just sit there a long while, right, the milk is going to sit on the bottom, it's going to separate, and the water's going to be on top. That's just physics. So like the hereafter is like, let me put it this way, hereafter is like the third floor. And we're like on the first floor. Well, you got to be able to get to the third floor. Say a flood is coming. A flood is coming. So you have to be able to get on the third, because the flood is going to knock out the first floor. I don't want to get over simplistic here. But the flood is going to knock out the first floor. But if you're on the second floor, you're going to suffer a little bit, right? You're going to get a little wet and everything. But you're on the third floor, you're clear. And that's what it's like. Because through this pressure, and the world, as the universe contracts, the pressure builds up. And your mind has to be able to handle that pressure. And the pressure will come in the form of other people they're more energized. So how are they going to use that energy? To increase their mind. Some will, some won't. But if they do, it's all about mind. So their mind increases more than yours. They're going to rule over you. They're going to crush you. Because you won't be able to withstand the pressure. The society will change, right? You see all the stuff you think is impressive right now. If you go back 100 years ago, people would say, what the hell is this stuff? Phones, cars, electricity. Even 100 years ago. What? 1920, well, it got a little 150 years ago. 150 years ago, no electricity, no cars. So someone come here now would be confused. They wouldn't be able to handle it. And what they tell you what's going to happen in the hereafter is much greater. I mean, they said you can't even imagine it. They said no heart or no mind could even imagine how it's going to be like. So it can be transformed in a twinkle of an eye. But if you are you positioned to be transformed? I try to get all kind of analogies about like the sperm finds only one sperm finds millions of them after it, and one finds it. I try to get all these analogies. But the basic analogy is, when you understand universe is pressure, that's the way the universe works. Your mind is pressure. Universe is cracking, the pressure increasing. If your mind doesn't keep up with it and sync with it, you're crushed. I can't make it any simpler than that. And right now, they're having you divert your energy from strengthening your mind. So your power of your mind is weak. Your power of your mind can't even keep up with what's going on right now. Because many of you sitting around nervous about what's happening right now. And some of you totally immune to what's happening. I mean, not immune, but totally, what's the one I want to use? You have no idea what's going on right now. The world is blowing up and some of you don't even pay attention at all. So if you can't deal with the present, how in the hell do you think you're going to be able to deal with the future? But the God says, but for those of you who went through the Holocaust and paying attention, and for Lazarus about to rise up, see, joy comes in the morning. Oh, brothers and sisters, it's so beautiful. Reward you want to get. They're trying to rip you off this reward. Yeah, you went through 500 years, but that's nothing compared to 76 trillion years of joy. Not even a heartbeat. Joy comes in the morning. And for those of you who are studying, your joy is already beginning. It's already begun. Lazarus is rising. He's been invigorated. pretty soon you're going to, like I said, if you read this GIF here, and pretty soon he's going to stand up. See, when you get out of bed, that means you got more energy than you have when you're in bed, don't it? But you got to get enough energy to get up out of the bed. That's what Suleiman is doing. He's shaking them and getting enough energy to get up out of the bed. Because once you get out of bed, it's all over. Because when you get out of bed, you're conscious, right? When you're in bed, you sleep. When you get out of bed, you're conscious. See, that means your mind is back. When you're in bed, your mind's gone. In a dream world somewhere. When you get up, your mind's back. And when Lazarus gets, his mind's going to be back. And when his mind is back, restored, because who has his mind? Read the scripture. The lightning bolt didn't hit him. He had to give his mind back. Remember, the lion stood up, and the mind was given back to him. Also in Mark, right? The man possessed by demons, Suleiman had to give him his mind back. He had to give it back to him. What is it? The angel. And when you study, you're getting your mind back. If you don't, you're just looking at it. Like going to the gym, just take a look at it. Sit down on the machine, look at it, see how it feels. Then you're not getting anything back. All you're doing sightseeing. And that's not get you anywhere. Because you get to the third floor, like I said, you got to climb those stairs. Ain't no elevator. You got to climb those stairs. You got to study the angel. The more you study it, right, the more you're immune. Because I talked about these 5 fundamental pillars of Islam. That gives you a force field. See? But the angel is your weapon. It's also your gym. All these things come together. Because, okay, you protect it. That don't mean you're going anywhere. Like you're in a bulletproof car, right? You're sitting there where nobody can do anything to you. Like that thing they call a monster, something that the beef or the beast or whatever, that the president rides, right? But it's got to go somewhere. Just sitting there. So 5 fundamental pillars of Islam, okay, you're sitting there, you're okay, you're covered. But then you got to go somewhere, and nobody's going to push you. So then you got to study. And then you got to pull out your weapons. Because you got a whole arsenal of weapons. No one gave me anything. But scientists, they prepared a whole arsenal of weapons for me to find. I found it. I stumbled on it. I wasn't even aware it was there. That angel. Atom bombs. Man, whole arsenal. This world cannot withstand it. It's already crumbling as a result of it. Since 1990, since those series breakings, the whole world has been in chaos, confusion, and it's getting worse. I can almost say hourly. I used to say daily. I used to say weekly. Now I say actually hourly. Because every time you look at something, man, it's... That's what you need. You got to have your weapons, right? You got your bulletproof vest, so to speak, protect you, but you got to move. And you got to strengthen yourself. You put all that together. That's why I keep talking about the gravitational vortex. When the vortex is something that pulls something down, and depends on the gravity, how much gravity it has, it's like a sinkhole, it pulls things down. And this whole world is pulling your mind down. They're trying to keep it down to their level. Trying to keep it down to their level. And at some point, the door is closed. Read about the 10 virgins. 5 rose above it, and 5 didn't, and the door was locked, and they couldn't get through. Because when the pressure builds, pressure keeps building. Once the things happen, you reach the threshold. Like a diamond, it reaches that threshold. At that point, that's a critical point. Is that coal able to reconstruct itself? Because that's what happens. The coal has to reorder itself, has to reconstruct its molecules to a stronger structure. That's a diamond. If it's not able to do that, it's crushed to dust. That's happening right now, brothers and sisters. And you're about to reach a critical point. Because that's when Lazarus rises. But at the same time Lazarus rises, a lot of people are crushed to dust. You see the connection here? I'm trying to keep you from being crushed to dust. Because you have to do these things to get your strength so you can reconstruct yourself. But you're not even doing that. You're weak, got diseases. I'm 73 years old. I'm not taking any medication. You're weak, and you got all these, you're eating chitlins. There's all this BS, playing video games, overweight, and every damn thing else. Instead of using that energy to strengthen yourself. See? Because all the things I didn't come empty-handed. I came with all the things you need to guide you out of here. It's not a roadmap. That's the roadmap. 5 fundamental principles of Islam. The angel. Upload it. And also weapons to fight off your enemies. I come with a full house. Everything you need. See? And they say how beautiful the sound of footsteps are. The ones that bring all this happening, because that's what I come. I come with a message, a message of joy, a message of hope, a message of love, but a message of faith. Because that little element of faith they give to me every Sunday, they have no idea what faith is. See, faith is mathematical fact that's yet to be revealed. That's what faith is. It's not some bullshit that somebody put out there behind and say it's going to happen. Superman's going to jump off from Krypton someplace, right? Or some G's going to come back from outer space somewhere. Or some angel. No. Facts. Mathematical facts. You put pot on the stove, right? Mathematical fact. If you put fire on it, it's going to ball. But it hasn't done it yet. It hasn't been revealed that it's balling yet. That's where your faith comes in. Based on mathematical facts. And everything that you need to know is based on mathematical fact. Like I said, who's a demon? It's easy to know what a demon is. If it follows the devil, it's a demon. That's a mathematical fact. Biology. See, we don't have to go into all this super stuff. Everything you need to know is basic mathematics. Our devils, those devils, right? Their genes are recessive. They tell you their genes are weaker than ours. And we got their history. They can hide. They're trying to hide history. So what's so complicated about that? You could just use your basic knowledge, your basic understanding, right, to understand what the hell is going on. Basic reason. Basic logic. You don't need the angel for that. You don't need the Bible for that. Just to tell you what's going on, and then you can start moving towards getting the hell out of here. Strain yourself to get the hell out of here. Because all this is just basic reasoning. Because I said scriptures are all mathematics. You know, you got a history of these people, so how are they going to tell you they're good people when you see what they've done? You've been up. You ain't over here from Uzbekistan someplace. You right here in the middle of them. You've been watching them up and close and personal for 40 years. So you know who they are. You're not there, well, it's the South again. No, there are slaves in the North too. They have more seasons in the North, but the place was agriculture. You go to South New Jersey, South Jersey, and Illinois is a place where there's farms. There are slaves there. What do you think? What's her name? The one, Harriet Tubman. She was a slave up in New York. Wasn't in Mississippi. And they freed you. How the hell you free? You're still here. You're still paying their loss. How's that freedom? So that tells you right there, your mind's too weak to move out of here. Because if you still buying that stuff, and that stuff is basic mathematics, your mind's too weak to get out of here. And you won't go. Because that's the reason why we was put in the furnace of affliction, to burn off all the weak. See, your body gets rid of all the weak cells. 90% of waste, solid waste you eliminate is dead body cells. Weak ones that your body purge yourself of. And that's what we're doing right now. We're purging ourselves all the weak ones, because we leave out here great wealth, great army, not army, Uzis and shotguns, in jail. They cannot defeat that because the mental war, that physical stuff, that's theirs. They can think all they want to with that. You control the mind and control everything. You leave out here and build a kingdom that will never be destroyed, never gives to other people. Remember, everything had to be set up, it purified, and he had to be in the Lamb's Book of Life. He had to be elevated. And if you wasn't able to be elevated, you was left behind. You get in that furnace, you're either gold or you're the dross that gets burned off. So I'm saying this, brothers and sisters, because I'm primarily talking to Lazarus. But see, when Lazarus wake up, he's gonna be thinking mathematically. But we got a lot of people still. We're loving people. We're merciful people, and you're gonna feel real bad. That's how the devils got over it, because we feel bad about their children and everything else, even though we know their children are going to be monsters. Oh, that poor, Elijah homicide was one of our failures when we had to go through this, because we have such good hearts. We couldn't believe anybody could do what these people have done. So when Lazarus wake up, he's going to feel sorry for a lot of our people that's left behind. And so we have to be able to say, no, they was told, they had a choice. See, I'm trying to come at this all kind of different ways for you, brothers and sisters. That's why a lot of what I'm doing you don't understand. Sometimes, you don't understand a lot of what I'm doing. Because I got to prepare for when Lazarus wake up, because he's going to want to try to save some of you. He's going to feel bad for you. But you cannot be saved. Because if he brought you, then he have to drag you in anyway. Because most of you would, even if you try to be kicking, I want to stay with the devil. Because you've been so brainwashed by Farrakhan and his likes. So we have to take and understand how this works, brothers and sisters. And I'm reaching for all kinds of ways, And I know. See, let me try to get an analogy. You cannot stop the sun from coming in the morning, no matter what you do. I don't think that gets what I want to say here. Say, for instance, you had to qualify to get in here after you have to lift 1,000 pounds. Everybody lifts 1,000 pounds to get there. But if you only lift 900, that's not good enough. 950 is not good enough. You got to lift 1,000. Because say, for instance, in the hereafter, right, everybody got to walk around with 1,000 pounds in their back. So everybody walk around 1,000 pounds in their back. I guess is a simplistic way of looking at it. But say everybody can walk around 1,000 pounds back. Say, well, ever since you even going there, because somebody had to help you carry yours, so you got to at least be able to lift 1,000 pounds. They test you. Can you lift 1,000 pounds? Nope. But then you can't go. And the point is going because everybody have to. That's the Lord have to walk 1,000 pounds. See, so but you got a trainer trying to teach you how to lift 1,000 pounds, but you didn't want to. You want to hang out, play video games, and all that kind of stuff. See? So then you come up short. You're going to lift 500, about 600. I can lift 900, 890. I can lift 950. Not good enough. You got to lift 1,000. Because you got to lift up off the floor. That's how you know. Same thing. So look at the term of your mind. Because everybody in here has to be thinking 1,000-pound mind. I'm trying to keep it simple. And you ain't going to be able to keep up with them. You don't understand what's going on. It's like going to a place where everybody speaks Spanish and you can't speak. You may can't speak at all, but you can't. Then you be confused. You wouldn't know what to do. Now you might be able to learn Spanish for a time, but right away you'll be confused. You'll be out of place. Do you understand, brothers and sisters? Your mind level, it has to be on the same right level to go to the hereafter and to survive and be successful there. Otherwise, people have to help you. Nobody's going to do that. And when I'm trying to get your mind on that level, because once on that level, you have no problem. You're there. You can lift 200, 1,000, 500 pounds. One hand. You have no problem. I keep telling you, thought is pressure. Thought is also power. Thought is power. The power of your thought depends on how much energy you have, how much discipline you have. And you have to have a certain amount of level of power to make it to hereafter. It's like right now, some in school, some you can't go to. You go there, you wouldn't have no idea what's going on. You'd be lost. And no matter what they did, you try to teach a dog how to speak, you can talk for 1,000,000 years and it's going to happen. So then you go there, and they say, oh, they put out calculus, put out vectors, stuff. What the hell are you talking about? So you can't stay, you can't go in that university. And maybe if you go back and study, you still might not be able to learn enough. You might have enough ability to even learn it. Your IQ may not be big enough. You see what I'm saying? So that university of next reality, then you're lost. That's your cutoff. You can't get in. And that's the same thing, brothers and sisters. We're going to a new world where the thought power is much greater than what it is here. Much greater than what it is here. There's so many things I could tell you, but I can't even talk to you. Like right now, I'm having a difficult time right now because I know 99% of you have no idea what I'm talking about. No matter how I come at you, mathematics, science, whatever, biblical, it's all science actually, all mathematics. So that's what I'm letting you know, brothers and sisters. It's the same thing. If you fertilize the egg, you get flushed down the toilet. You pick up the angel and get your mind past the threshold you need to qualify to move into the next world, then you're going to be flushed down the toilet, period. You're going to be left behind. It says, the angel tells you at least 1/3 of the population of the universe, planet is going to be destroyed. It says at least 1/3, but it's going to be actually more than that. So I don't know how to tell you any other way, brothers and sisters. And you got to get going. Because I'm not going to accept you unless you're 100%. That's why it says it's going to build a kingdom that lasts forever and not give another people. That means you have to be 100%. If the criteria is 1,000, you got to be 1,000, period. I ain't accepting anything. I'm not accepting 9.999, nothing. 1,000, period. You got to lift up off the floor. That's not for the sisters. Sisters going to get a helping hand. They got all the things to worry about. But they got to be at least 800, something close to that. They can't live 100. Okay, well, but sisters will get a upper hand. That's already built in. I'm going to guarantee that. Because if they can't go in, I ain't going in. That's bottom line. I'll stay with them. So if any scientist got a problem with that, then they have to deal with me. Sisters going in. After all the hell they went through here, I ain't hearing nothing else. Ain't no science going to tell me anything different. Hear about 1 degree above. I don't hear none of that. See, these sisters going in. And once they get in, right, they're going to get all the sisters they need to come up to speed. And they can come to speed. These sisters ain't stupid. But the point is, they got to be taking care of your stupid butt, wiping your behind everything when you couldn't. How they got time to be these other things? And you're going, wait, now, you didn't study the angel? Yeah, but no, she was studying your butt. King, your behind is what she was studying. So I bet she had been studying angel, so wiping your behind. Oh, man, you didn't take care of me. Man, what kind of mom are you? Look, I don't want to hear that. I'm not. Case closed on that. Well, I ain't even talking about it no more. Sisters going in, period. Full stop. But brothers, you got to qualify. And the qualification is 100%. Like those close Navy SEAL, you got to qualify to be that. They take the best of the best. And we're taking the best of the best. First, because you got to beat, if you can't beat the mind of these devils, if you can't overcome their mind, then how the hell you think you're going to get to the hereafter? Because we're not going to bring that stupid Negro stuff in the hereafter. It ain't going to happen. Your mind's got to be above theirs. So be above theirs. Much more above it. And then after that's just to get out of here. And then you got another trial. You take our land back. Then you got another trial, a big one. The controversy between Esau and Jacob. That big battle. And everybody's on every step of the way They putting all kinds of stumbling blocks in your way, and you don't even see you don't see any of them. I can spend all day telling you all the different tricks. Scripture tell you even this possession I'm giving you right now. If you look at it, it tells you near that they got secret plans to get rid of you. They want this creation for themselves. They do it. They want it for themselves, and they want you gone. And they're going to take a lot of you with them. But for those of you who are able to overcome, that's why he keeps, we ain't talking about an angel. He overcome. Overcome what? You got to overcome this work. He said, overcome what? You said, what you got to overcome? They said, well, when you overcome, you got to believe in Jesus. That's overcome? You got to overcome this world. The mind of this world. That's your ticket out of here. Because by definition, you're out here anyway. Because if you overcome this world, you're out here anyway. You fertilize an egg, you out of that old world. Once you get an egg, you out of that old world. If you overcome this, you're out here anyway. Because you broke the gravitational vortex. It has no gravitational, has no pull on you anymore. So now you're on your way to the next life. But some of you still caught up in it. I said some of our sisters are going to be caught right on the edge of it, and we're going to snatch them off. We're going to give them a helping hand. That's our duty. See? They was there for us. We wasn't able to be there for them. So like I said, that's case closed. I don't have to say anything on that anymore. So that's what I'm telling you, brothers and sisters. I have a special little talk, try to explain it as simple as possible. So you keep listening to these people out here, be caught up in it. You got this American dream. Why do you think Farrakhan telling you that? Why do you think his whole message? Look at the bottom line of his message. We ain't going nowhere. Right there, that destroys your whole ability to move out of here, gravitational vortex, because he's telling you, hey, ain't no sense trying to escape that gravitational vortex. Ain't no sense trying to escape the gravitational force of this world. Get involved in it. Make the best of it. Yet the world is about to be burned up. The scripture is going to burn up. So you're going to be the best. So how you going? What you got to embellish? See something somehow, because it says go burn. He talk about the message of black man and how to live and fall of America and all that stuff. Elijah says this place is going to be burned up. But he tell you, we ain't going nowhere. We're going to have some 6 days somewhere. So how is that going to work? They're going to burn up that part, but not your part? See, that's his whole deception, because he's a demon. He knows he cannot make it. There's nothing he can do. It's like trying to teach an angel. It's like trying to teach a dog how to write. They can't understand the angel. That's one way the demons, they can't understand it. Because your mind has to go on a certain level. It's like you can't teach a 5-year-old child to lift 200 pounds. You can't do it. I don't care. You can't do it. Just at 5 years old, it's possible. You can't lift 200 pounds. You can't lift 100 pounds. And they don't have the mental power to do it. They had that book for 2,000 years. Remember, they got the same mentality their devil's followers had to do angel of 2,000 years and couldn't touch it. Not touch it, not even look at it. They didn't know what it was. Couldn't touch it. That shows right there. They don't have the mind for it. Then Suleiman comes along. He didn't it wasn't a light boat. He went in and got into it, studied it, 30-some years, and now he's revealing to you what's in it. He had to study, he strengthened his mind. Elijah Muhammad took him to a certain level, and he went way beyond that. But 30 years of hard work and study. And now he's your personal trainer, showing you how to cut corners. He's giving you a little help, like a spotter. Make sure you don't make a mistake on every carrying on. If you don't want that, that's up to you. So he's in the lead. See, he's in the lead. Leading you out of here. How's he leading you out of here? By giving you the information you need to strengthen your mind. Because that's the only way out of here, brothers and sisters. You got to strengthen your mind. Only way out of here is not walking out here. The only way to get through the flood, you had to build an ark. The only way out here, brothers and sisters, is strengthen your mind. And the angel is the only tool that will do that for you. Now, I hope I made that clear enough. That the only tool that will do it for you, it tells you. He said 140,000. They're the only ones who could understand it. That's Lazarus waking up. And that's why it says only 145, only those in the Lamb's Book of Life, right, was taken out of here when Master Muhammad came. Because your mind has to be, you have to qualify, your mind has to be on a certain level. And once your mind, because your mind, you're going to move in the direction your mind is. If you're thinking about this, then you're going to move in the direction you're thinking about. So if you're thinking about mortgages and that kind of stuff, that means your mind is still in this level here. If you think about hereafter and saving your people, then your mind, it means that you're moving out of this gravitational vortex. You're moving out of this reality. Your mind is stronger than it. But your mind is weaker if I'm a mortgage man, I'm a party, I'm going to be a professor, I'm going to be a politician. Because your mind's going to and no one can tell you anything. They can talk to you till you're blue in the face, and you're not going to see it because your mind is not capable. In most cases, your mind is just not capable because you're weak-minded. And that's part of the reason why we're going to this Holocaust, to get rid of weak-minded ones of us that can't make it. Purging. Getting rid of the weak cells. And so they're going to understand anything we're talking about. So we leave them behind. See, that color, that sounds cold-blooded. That's where it works. We keep our nation strong, but always getting rid of the weak ones. That's why you have the Bible talking about the weak, the believers and disbelievers. Disbelievers one's too minds too weak. That's what disbelievers' mind is just too weak to believe in the next level. Because scriptures come to tell you what the next level is. Preparing you for the next level. That's what scriptures do. It's preparing you for the next level. That's what scriptures do, preparing you for the next level. That's why Mama said the future, that past stuff. All you see in the Bible is not past stuff. It's in fact, angels telling you about it's telling you everything what's happening right now, but in detail. The scriptures come and tell you what you need to do with the current reality that it was revealed for. The crown was revealed for something that happened 1,400 years ago. That's old news. That's why you're having success in 500 years. Having success. Because angels for right now. And it's telling you what you need to do, right? To move to the next level. See? And the believers, they grab and they move on. Disbelievers, they sit back. Oh man, and so they lost. When spring comes, they still lost in the winter. They're still doing winter stuff. Spring people prepare for the spring. So they moved on to the next level. And the disbelievers always left behind. See? Time anchors, scriptees. Oh, I got Message of the Black Man. I got Fall of America. I got the Quran. I got this, I got that. Okay, well, hold on to that then. See? Because they're in the past. Their mind's in the past. So how in the hell you move to the future if your mind's in the past? The angel put your mind into the future. See? But first we got to bring you up to the present. And most of your mind's not in the present because most of you have no idea what's going on. Just ask around you. Ask people around you what's going on right now in the world today. And they don't know. Confused. So I mean, they're not up to date with the present. They're not even up to date with the present. How the hell are they going to get to the future? They're moving backwards. Their mind's in the past. Their mind's in the past. So how the hell are they going? They're not even in the present. So how the hell are they going to move to the future? Angels moving you to the future. Because how to be in it, you got to start thinking. You're moving forward. You got to be looking forward, don't you? Don't you have to be looking forward to move forward? And the further you can see, the faster you can move forward. Does that make any sense? Doesn't make any sense to you? If you're in a car and you're nearsighted, right? I guess that's what they call it, nearsighted, right? Then you're gonna go slow, because you only see a few feet ahead. You're gonna go slow. See, but if you're blind, you move at all. You're sitting there. You see? You're sitting there. And in reverse, that means you're going backwards. But if you're blind, you're sitting there. But if you're nearsighted, you go, But if you're farsighted, then you put foot on the gas. And Superman got foot on the gas. He slowed down For some of you nearsighted people, he ain't going to slow down too much. He has to slow down to get Lazarus. That's part of what he has to do. Slow down, just, but that's for them, not for the people that's blind. So you talk to Farrakhan and Silas and all these people, they can't even see, they're blind, they can't even see the present. They can't tell you what's happening in the present. They guess it. Oh, watch the weather. Or there's war in Russia. See, that's his game. He's claims he's a prophet. He knows everything. But yet still, he don't go and say what's going to happen now. Well, Elijah said this. That's his fallback. Because he don't know. So he can say, well, Elijah was wrong. Well, no, you're supposed to be telling us what's going on. You're the weatherman. Tell us what's happening, Farrakhan. You didn't see COVID coming up. You didn't see it happening. Tell us what's happening. Because he don't know. Silas don't know. Because they're all blind. They can't tell you what's happening right now. And you got Suleiman telling you not only what's happening right now, not what's happening tomorrow, what's happening years in advance. Like I said, on a clear day, you can see forever. And in detail. Means his vision is sharp. I haven't worn glasses damn well. I wear your shades. I don't need to wear glasses. I never had need to wear glasses. But Farrakhan, why are you wearing glasses, Farrakhan? It says, the prophets, it tells you right specifically, Moses never had to wear glasses. It says I was, even old age, his eyes were sharp. I think mine has always been sharp. I don't need them. 73 years old. Why you need glasses, Farrakhan? You've been ever since you was a youngster. Because you can't see physically or spiritually. So stick with them. Ask them what's happening right now. Ask people around you, they don't know. Most of them can't explain it, and some of them don't even know at all. They're totally blind. Some of them very nearsighted. So I mean, and I'm telling you that in itself is a lot, because most of them are just totally blind. They can't even see a couple of feet ahead of themselves. And the angels giving you the ability to look way ahead, put your foot on the gas. Cruising. See? Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. I think I'm going to leave it there. I just want to have a little talk here. I cut a lot of stuff different ways. I'm trying to touch all kinds of bases here. See? I don't want anybody to say, they ain't heard or they ain't whatever. You've been told. Because you don't know anything. Farrakhan don't see anything. He tell you all his philosophies now. All the stuff going on in the world, how come you're not talking about it? He ain't talking about COVID till 7 months afterwards. All these top people are dropping like flies. He can barely walk on a wheelchair. They're pathetic over there. Talking about his top men got sciatica and he can't drive. Because they got nothing over there. They're being consumed. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. See? You got to see it hereafter if you want to get to see hereafter. If you can't see it, you can't get there. First you got to see it. Then you got to start moving towards it. And the way you move towards is not walking. Increasing your mind. That's what gets you there. And keeps you there. And once you get there, you're going to have the same situation. You have to, because there, it ain't about like here, partying and you get an entrepreneur and all that kind of BS, all that capitalist, all that crap. That's not going. It's going to be all a mental thing. Once you get there, it's all a mental. From now on, for the next 76 trillion years, it's a bit of a mental thing here too, really. They didn't see it that way. It's a mental thing. And those who spend their time at that mental gym thinking, and studying, they're going to be above those that's not. That's going to make the decision. That's going to make the difference. But we're not going to compete sisters against brothers. Sisters have their thing, and brothers have their thing. Not going to be that competition anymore. Because when they're at competition, the brothers always win because they use their strength. See, and we ain't having that no more. Using your strength against the sisters. That's stuff you know the last 50,000 years. There's, I'm not mad at you, brothers and sisters, because there was a reason for some of that, but you went overboard with most of it. See, because we was in a time that strength required. The last 50,000 years, beauty wasn't Beauty wasn't required to get to the last 50,000 years with strength. But we're supposed to take that strength and to put an umbrella around our women to cover them, to protect them, and we didn't do that. We did it for a while, but once we got over here, we lost that ability. See, so I'm gonna make up for it. Sisters, I got you. Don't worry about it, right? See, I ain't mad at you, brothers, because we knew we was going to go through that, and the sisters knew we was gonna go through it too. Because Dr. Shabbat explained it all. He didn't force you. He forced us to do it. He said, this is what he wanted to do. He had told all the nations, tribes, and he had told sisters, he explained clearly what they had to go. And sisters, what they said, go for it. See, sisters are tougher than you think they are, bro. Sisters, you try giving a baby. Sisters are tougher than you think they are. Just because they can't beat you in a boxing match, well, some of them probably can. I'm from Newark. I know some sisters that probably could. That don't mean they ain't smarter than you. And what's that story? Love and Hate. What's that song? Love and Hate, something like that, right? See, you want to be beat up on them sisters, and then you want to go to sleep. You think that stupid sister stupid? She would be stupid. She let your dumb ass wake up. Very glad I ain't one of them because your buddy put your hand on me and you go to sleep. When you wake up, if you wake up, you have a knot head, your head so big. And I think that'll get a message to anybody. Now stop that BS. The sisters, they went through all that, unprotected, totally abused by these devils. And now you want to be beating on them? And believe me, I've had my issues. I ain't beating on them though. I get mad sometimes. I had a demon wife a while back. She pushed it, but I ain't beating on no women. I ain't doing that. See, and we need to be doing that either. Not to say, well, I don't care about demon women, but I didn't know she was a demon at the time. If I did, well, let me leave that alone. I'm gonna get myself in trouble here. But brothers and sisters, understand, this is where it's right here. I call it the atomic war, ATTOM. Release no atomic bombs. That's what I'm releasing from the angel. That's what you need. Get that mind straight. Because when you get in the hereafter, right, it's a battle of the minds. Right? Not that we're going to be at physical war with each other, but the more powerful your mind is, the more powerful you will be. That's just basic mathematics. That's why scientists stay on top. That's why 25th scientists stay on top of them. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. So I don't, like I said, I wasn't intending on going into a lot of details. I was trying to give a general, basic, fireplace chat. Try to get some understanding of what's going on here and what your enemies are doing. They're trying to rob you of to keep your mind weak, to keep you distracted. It's like all those burn. Oh man, don't pay attention. And the one that did pay attention, he got the egg, and the rest of them got flushed down the toilet. Is that what you want, brothers and sisters? That's what's about to happen to you. And it's coming quick. It's coming very quick. You see things moving so fast now? You've never seen things move this fast. Since 2020, since 1999 things were moving fast. But since 2020 things are moving extremely fast. Every day. And it's getting faster and faster. It said it'd be like a woman in labor. Women understand that one, right? It says how the pains come quicker and quicker and quicker. That's what the scripture said it would be like. You're going to be in a few more days, brothers and sisters. Hope you understand. Okay? I'm going to leave it there, brothers and sisters. But the Holocaust wasn't in vain. Because they're the fire. They're the fire to purify us. Because you had to even get through it. You'd be patient, submissive, in the sight of all of this stuff that was going on, they was doing to us, our children, everything else. You had to stay the course. Stay patient. Haitians, they broke. They couldn't handle it. Jamaica, everybody broke. We stuck with it. We stayed all the way to the end. You had to be patient, and you had to be wise enough to be patient. Because if you broke, then you got crushed, destroyed. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. Only the best of us made it through. Some of us just offed ourselves on the way over. Only the best of the best was made it through. Now we got the best of the best. Now we want the best of those. You only got a little more time. We out of here. We want the best of the best. That's 144,000. That's the ones we want. So you get to the finish line, brother and sister, and you can't cross the line. You made always this finish line, and then you're going to pass out the finish line. Let somebody trick you. Oh man, you don't need to go across that finish line. You went through all this here. All this hell with these people. And now you're marrying them, you're kissing on them, finger bumping them and everything else. Some of you doing it out of total ignorance because you have no idea. Some of you just stupid. The difference between being stupid and ignorant. We're all born ignorant. But we ain't all born stupid. Assalamu alaikum.